I'm Leah Hamilton, and this is for my interpersonal development class, an assignment about communication. And this is my dad, Robert, who I'll be interviewing. So Dad, about a week ago, you were experiencing some chest pains. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, we had been away in Montana for a week or so, and on the way back we stopped to visit our daughter in Colehurst, and then we stopped again at our daughter in Okotoks. And being that it was a day or two after Halloween, there was a lot of candy around,
Of course.
and I like candy, and anyway, so I started eating it in Colehurst, and then when we got to Okotoks, I ate a lot of candy, probably about 10 little O. Henry chocolate bar type things. And then Mom drove the car from Okotoks home, and I started feeling a little funny then. And then an hour or so later, we were watching TV, and I just was very uncomfortable. I couldn't sit, and my chest got increasingly more and more sore.
Yeah.
And I tried to go to bed, and I couldn't go to sleep, and and I just couldn't get any comfort.
Right, so you're kind of panicking a little bit at this point?
Well, I'd never felt anything like it before.
Really?
Yeah, I've been, and I've done lots of exercising, so I've worked my heart pretty hard, but I thought...
Right, so you're fit and active, but... Yeah,
I am pretty active, and I could do more, and I'm a little extra weight, but
Don't we all?
I definitely do work out quite a bit. So anyway, I was uncomfortable enough that I finally said to Mom that I was having these chest pains and they weren't going away. So she jumped right up, turned the TV off, and off we went to the emergency at the Foothills Hospital.
Jeez. So what did So what happened then?
Well, when you get there, there's always a bunch of people, and I'd taken her there a while ago, so we kind of knew what to expect. And they take you to the triage, and they kind of determine what's going on, and then they bring you in, and they take your blood pressure and that kind of stuff. And then it took about, I think it was probably 4 hours before we finally saw a doctor. And so they had done an electrocardiogram, and everything was normal. So everything on my heart seemed fine. And then shortly after the electrocardiogram, it stopped hurting. So the pain kind of went away.
That's funny. Did they keep you there for a while after that?
Yeah, and I said to them, I said, well, the symptoms have gone away. Can I just go home? And they said, well, it's probably best that you wait and see the doctor. And they did some blood work, and and then it was probably about 7 hours later when I saw the doctor a second time, and he had done all the tests again.
Yeah.
And that's when he confirmed that they really didn't see any issue with anything.
Yeah. So, in hindsight, from this experience, you had kind of some scary chest pains. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, it's a little scary because I really hadn't felt it before.
Yeah.
And so I guess I felt, boy, I better quit eating. And then it was later that I kind of thought, well, what caused that?
Right.
And that's when I thought, well, it was probably all that candy that I ate.
Yeah.
I've always eaten candy, but maybe that was a little more than normal all at once. But I thought that was probably what it was that caused it. So it kind of made me feel, well, I need to really control better my sugar intake.
Yeah.
And so this week I've kind of said, okay, I'm cutting out sugar, and I haven't been eating candy and chocolate when there's been lots of opportunities to.
Right. Well, that's good, and that's a hard thing to do. So you said earlier that you do exercise quite a bit. Are you going to continue that or increase the amount that you exercise in the next while?
I've started walking to work, and it takes me about an hour to walk there, so it's a pretty long walk.
Yeah.
So I've done that a few times, and I'll do more of that.
Yeah.
And then I've been a lane swimmer for 35 years, as you know. Your whole life I've been a swimmer.
Yeah.
And I continue to do that. And the doctor encouraged me to keep doing that. And so I'm going to try to swim at least twice a week.
Right.
And then I'll do the walking. And Mom and I walk quite a bit as well. So I'll continue to do that. And I'm going to try to keep the sugar intake down, so maybe I can lose a little bit of weight as well.
Right. So from this experience, what do you think that you learned the most?
I think I learned that I'm getting older,
Yeah.
you know, and that I need to be a little more careful with how I take care of myself and be more cognizant of the food that I eat and things I take into my body.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's something that, like, I mean, because I was surprised when you told me this story for the first time, especially because I know that you're, like, a physically fit person, so I was really surprised about that, and it made me think that, well, like, I should be taking better care of myself, too, especially because I've inherited from you a love of candy, and so I, like, have a hard time controlling that every now and then, so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good takeaway for me, that I just need to think a little bit harder about what I take into my body and I think it was candy that caused it. I don't know that for sure. And the doctor didn't really know for sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I thought, well, that's probably what did it. So I need to just be a little more wise with what I bring into my body.
Yeah, and even if it isn't what caused it, that's a good thing to be conscious of.
Exactly, it can't hurt.
For the time being.
It can't hurt to eliminate a lot of that kind of stuff from my diet.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Dad, for doing this interview with me.
You're very welcome. Leah's a good girl.